Hello everyone, it's Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet, and I am in the yarn room today because I have a special video. The other day, oh, and welcome to the yarn room. That's the hallway, don't look at that. And then when I welcome to all my subscribers and anybody that's new, thanks for joining me. I am in the yarn room because the other day I did a video and I talked about how many whips do you have. And I mentioned that I have things that want to be whips and that they're up here. So I thought maybe I would show you the things that want to be whips. They're not really started yet. The yarn has been pulled for some things to make, but and I know what they're going to be when they grow up. And when I take my hook to them and make them something beautiful, hopefully. So they know what they're supposed to be. They just aren't magically becoming it by themselves. And I haven't had time to make them what they need to be. So I'm going to start and show you some of those things. Let's see, let's move you. So the first one is this big bag. Big bag. It was vacuum sealed at one point. And this is Stitch Studio by Nicole. Studio Basics, and the yarns, obviously you can't get them anymore because Stitch Studio by Nicole is AC Moore brand. But I had them in different colors. This real pale pink or peach is called Pearl, and then I have this other peach over here, and it's called Peach Nectar. And then I have the dark peach in the top corner there. This is all acrylic yarn. That one is called Tea Rose. And then there's white, which is called Polar. And I saw, you would think orange is my favorite color when you see some of these yarns that I have. But there is, and I have a note on here. I don't know if you can see it or read it. But it says that this is going to be a blanket. Stitch of the Week, number 91, the Mosaic Granny by Creative Grandma. And it's granny squares. And so my original thought was I would do some, I wasn't sure. Do I want to, I have most of the white because I thought I would join it with white and go light to dark or dark to light and like do 3 rows. But then I saw somebody else, and I'm not quite sure who, because I've had this yarn for at least 3 years, where they made one blanket, just one big, huge granny, which could be really awesome as well. So, like, use up all of the one color and go to the next color and the next color and the next color. Probably the white at the end, because that's what I have the most of. So they used to run these little skeins of yarn on sale for 10 for 10. And so I would buy a few each time I went. I'm trying to see without opening it if I can find how much yardage is in here. It's a let's see, 170 yards. I have no idea how many of them I actually have. But I liked the colors together to go from this real pale, well, white and the real pale, and I have, I think, the least of the dark tea, the tea rose color. But I don't know, I'd have to open them up and see. But I have the most of the white. And it is just 100% acrylic. Relatively soft, as I recall. But I have this big, huge bag of them. And I will put a picture of the granny square that I'm talking about up in here somewhere, or before here. But I did do a screen snapshot of the granny square from Creative Grandma Stitch of the Week, number 91. And I said one day I'm gonna make that blanket. And you know, now I can't get the yarn anymore, so it'll be as big as what I have. And I say that that I'm going to, you're going to think that orange is my favorite color, because over here, if you've been around a while, you'll remember that at the very beginning of my crochet journey, I tried to make a basket and it became a volcano when I didn't have enough yarn, and then the next t-shirt yarn was smaller and different. And anyway, my first ever basket was a volcano basket because it's bigger at the base than it is at the top, and it contains this yarn, which is, and also oh, this is Premier. I think some of it's Premier and some of it might be AC Moore. This is Premier. It is Parfait. And yeah, the skeins are a little worse for the wear. They've been moved around many times. But I have this in white. This, they call this a 5. It's 100% polyester, and it's like a chenille. But I have it in white. And I have it in this peach color that is actually called peach. And then I have it in gray, and that color is called gray. And then I have it in this one, and this one is called Ambrosia. And as you can see, it's peach, pink, white, gray. There's a little yellow in there. And I saw this yarn, these yarns, and I thought, I want to make a ripple, just a zigzag blanket out of it. That's what I want to make. And I don't know, alternate every so often. I have the most, I mean, obviously the multicolored one has less yardage. It's 478 yards, whereas the others are 574 yards. I don't know if they still sell these colors, but hold on, I'm dropping things. So you see this, that's the design I want to use. That's what I bought this from AC Moore. I used to like just go there because because they always had good yarn on sale cheap. And so once I discovered Crochet and then AC Moore, that was it. I was addicted to sale yarns cheap, and buy them while you can. And then AC Moore went out of business and I cried. Okay, so these live in my volcano bag. It does have handles. It does have handles on it. But they live in my volcano bag, and they've been living there for quite a while. They kind of work as a door stop. They help hold the door open. Then I have this yarn in a bag. This is Yarn Lover's bag. I was going to say I got this from Rose, but I don't think I did. And in here is housed 2 skeins of yarn to make Yodas. I need to make 2 baby Yodas for my granddaughter, my second oldest grandchild. And so they're housed in here to make 2 baby Yodas. Then I have this, which is really supposed to be a purse, but I don't use it that way. That yarn I just purchased, the Chunky Caron Cakes, in the Cherry Jubilee color that I just got for $5. I did have 2 more of them. And those are going, this is all that's in here is 4 of these. And this is going to be a blanket for the kids at Boggy Creek. So this is the hashtag Boggy Camp 2022 blanket. I don't even like making blankets that much, but I have 3 blankets here. It's not that I don't like them. They get a little repetitive after a while, I think. But these blankets are going to not have to be real big. And then But Trisha told me two would not, Trisha Mama Swift told me two would not be enough for a blanket. So thank God I had more of the same one. And then in here is housed a top that I want to make. And this top has cloth and fabric in it. So, I mean cloth and, excuse me, yarn. So this is the yarn I'm going to use. This is the worsted 8, 100% acrylic, 4 weight from Hirschner's. And this color is called Macchiato, I think. I have a couple of these. There's, it's 8 ounces, 100% acrylic. No. I'm trying to find the, 489 yards, 447 meters. So this is the size that they have on sale right now. You get 3 of them for 12 bucks. I did not buy them, by the way. I bought other stuff, but I did not buy them. So in there is three of them. So almost 1,500 yards. Oh, this is my bag. I forgot to show you the bag, because the bag is the best part. Well, it's a good part. That might be the best part. This is my bag from Sandy Crochet Canada. She sent me this elephant bag. Isn't it adorable? And it's been housing this shirt all summer, since probably early spring, like March or April. I bought this fabric, and it's a I don't know anything about fabric. I really don't know how to sew. I mean, I have sewn in the past. I do have a sewing machine. And when my mother passed away, I gained a couple of more sewing machines. So I currently have 3 sewing machines in my house. I can make, I could sew a straight line. Don't ask me to sew anything fancy, but I could, like sew a pillow together. But this is supposed to be a top. And it's a sheer, like, semi-sheer, or sheerish, thin, that's the word I want. It's a thin fabric for summer. And the top is supposed to be, or my idea, I saw this top in a store when we were in Delaware, when we went to Ocean City, and Ocean City was closed in like March. So we spent a lot of time in Delaware, which was opening up. It's very early for them. Not like when you go to like Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach does not completely close down in the wintertime. Ocean City was like a ghost town. It was really surprising. But anyway, that's a whole nother video. They were beginning to open for the season, a store, and they had a top. And so it's similar to like a t-shirt design. I mean, arms and sleeves. There was no seam in the fabric on the sides that I recall. And I think it was like a 3/4 length sleeve, but the cloth part of the fabric came to like t-shirt length, and then there were little granny squares, like maybe 4-inch or 3 or 4-inch granny squares that went around here, and then there was a little more fabric, and then another row of granny squares here, and then this was right like under the breasts, across the belly area, another row, and that was open in the front. So the shirt is open in the front, and then the granny squares around the belly, and then more fabric, just like the sleeves, and granny squares around the bottom. And then it was just like a single crochet chain, kind of, a single crochet border edge around the cloth, all the way around the neckline. So no collar, just, so wherever there was fabric, there was a single crochet, maybe a little fancier border stitch that went around, but it was like first single crochet and then a little fancy border stitch around the whole thing. So it was cloth, cloth across the shoulders, slightly down the arms. Like it hid all the parts of you, but it was open, like a cardigan kind of thing, which for me would be ideal in the summertime. Lightweight, you could wear a tank top underneath, or um, so you're not real hot, but then you could still have something light and airy on your arms to cover you from the sun. Because of my vitiligo, I have to stay out of the sun a lot. And so I wanted to make it for this past summer. I don't think the sewing part would be really hard. My thought process was, I was going to take the fabric and lay it out. I got a lot of it. And then take a t-shirt and split it up the front. A t-shirt that fits me like loosely. And anyway, I was going to lay the fabric out, take a t-shirt, split it up the front loosely, so that then it's like one piece. You know what I mean? And kind of use it as a pattern. So that it could like lay out, maybe. I don't know. I had a thought process at one point anyway. But the fabric would be folded in half. So when you put the t-shirt arms out, that was it. Make it lay the t-shirt out over the folded in half fabric. And then cut it like cut it around the t-shirt. Cut the armhole, but not at the top, because there was no seams on the top. So that was what I was going to do. So the fabric folded in half, and then you just lay the t-shirt and cut out not the top of the fabric, but the sides and down. And then really doesn't even need to have much of a sew. You would have to use, sew little hems at the edges before, I would think, before you did the single crochet around the edge. And I'm hoping that this yarn wouldn't be too heavy. But if you did it with a light, a big hook, so that it's light. So anyway, that is what's living in my bag from Sandy. Hi Sandy, by the way. Totally love the bag, and I love the project that's in here. And see, won't those look nice together? Like granny squares out of this, just like bordering. I think it's a great idea. I totally love it. Maybe when, hopefully I'll get to it before next year, before next summer, so I can wear it next summer with like a white or a light yellow, tan, whatever, because there is some real pale yellow in here too, or even a bright color to cheer it up a little. Anyway, I thought that would be adorable, and that's what's living in this bag. Now upstairs in my filming room, right, that's what's supposed to be upstairs, is where I film. There are a couple of bags up there with projects in them, but those projects need to be frogged, so I'm not going to show you those. They were a couple of sweaters I was making for the littles, my two youngest granddaughters, but it didn't work out, and so I'm not making them. Nothing against the kids, it just didn't work out, and I'm not making them. I could very well still make them, but not with what I've started with. So those have to be frogged, so there's no sense in showing you that. And then there is also a bag for a sweater that was part of my Make 9 from last year, for a pullover sweater for Roy. That didn't get made. That will probably never get made. So that's why I didn't bring that down, because that ain't probably going to happen. It's not really a whip. It's just yarn that needs to get put away. Do you have whips like that? Or potential whips? I'm looking around. I think that's just yarn. There's one more bag over there, but I think that's yarn that just needs to get put away. Yep. So those are my potential whips and what they're supposed to look like and where they came from. And some of them have been potential whips. Look at my hair sticking up over here. Some of them have been obviously potential whips for a long time. Not that I don't want to make them, because I really, 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 really want to make all of them, which is why they're still in here. They're in here decorating my yarn room, and every time I walk in there, I'm like, oh, I gotta make that next. I'll make that next. Um, Next hasn't happened yet. It's like that tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Always the next project. That's all I have. I don't have any others because any other potential whips that I had or that I thought I was going to have, um, which is only one that I can think of off the top of my head, a blanket yarn project. Chloe wanted me to make her and a friend of hers, or no, just a friend of hers, uh, a, a blanket out of blanket yarn, which, mind you, I hate working with blanket yarn. It's just hard to work with if you ask me. I mean, maybe I crochet too tight, but my arms get tired. I like pull so hard that so I probably just really crochet with it when I've done a couple of blankets with blanket yarn, and I get exhausted, so I don't like to work with it. Maybe I needed to use a bigger hook and should give it another chance, because when I worked with it, it was when I was first learning to crochet. So as I said, maybe I should give it another try. But she's not friends with that person anymore, so I have the yarn and I put it back on my shelf. What else are you going to do with it, right? And I haven't been real excited to get it out. And I thought at some point that maybe I would throw it in a giveaway, but it's so big and bulky, it's going to cost me $1 million to send it to someone. So, and I'm real cheap about that. So, it probably won't go in a giveaway, to be honest with you, just because, it takes up so much bulk in a package. And that's not good to send. So that is, again, on another glance around the room, just to make sure. There is a whip coming in the mail, um, a sponsored whip. So I'm not going to say any more about that until I get it and can show you what it is. But I'm very excited about that. Um, and I know what it's going to be when it grows up. I know what the yarn is. So I got to get some of my current whips under control before that whip arrives. That potential whip arrives. But it will not sit in the yarn room. That will need to get made. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that stuff. Thanks for watching till the end. I do want to say I have been thinking about all of our friends in Florida in the uh, path of the hurricane. I've been in contact with Nancy a couple of times today. She's texted me. I did make a phone call to her before this video and I did not get through. So I hope that just means that she was out or at the convention doing whatever and unable to answer her phone for that reason. Uh, so if I don't hear from her by tomorrow, you guys, I'll let you know. But that's all I got for you today. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.